If you are a young guy, either in high school or in college, or even maybe a year or two out of college, does it make sense to get into a long-term relationship? There's three things I need to hit on in this video to help give you a better idea of whether it makes sense for you to be in a relationship right now, because there is a bit of a gray area to answer this question, right? Everything is situational and the nuance is important to talk about here. So before I get into it, for those of you who don't know me or haven't come onto my channel yet, my name is Evan. I run the account Performance Potential here on YouTube and on TikTok. And right now at the time of filming this, I have about 460,000 followers on TikTok, but I want to handle some of these more nuanced videos here on YouTube because I think it makes a lot of sense, and I think this is going to help out a lot of you younger guys. So if this is the kind of content that you want more of, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. So to successfully answer this question, I think it makes sense for me to give you a little bit of context on my background and really what I went through when I was a younger guy. So my background might be a little bit different from some of the guys watching this. I was always in long-term relationships when I was in my early 20s and even in high school. But the reason why I was in long-term relationships was because I wasn't really happy with myself. I didn't have the ability to be happy on my own, and I really didn't know what it was like to be single. So for me, I thought the right thing to do was to always try to date exclusively with the women that I liked. And for the most part, I didn't have great game. I didn't really understand what game was, but I was attractive enough to get girls to be into me. But I was never really attractive enough to get the girls and date the girls that I really wanted. So at certain times, I just settled and got into a few month, situationships with these girls that maybe I wasn't that into. But outside of the women that I dated for these, short months and time periods, when I was in high school, I had a girlfriend that I dated for over 3 years, and I had a girl that I dated for almost 4 years in college in the year after college. The reason why I bring this up is because I want to explain to you the benefits and the negatives of going through these relationships. And I want to start with the benefits. So when you're a man, if you've never been in a long-term relationship before, you understand that this is a completely different muscle. It's a completely different skill that you have to keep the woman that you're with happy for a long period of time, as opposed to just dating somebody casually or doing the whole hookup thing or game thing with attracting women. So the reason why I bring this up is, say that you went your whole life and you went into your early 30s and you were never in a relationship. It's going to be very difficult for you to function in a relationship with a woman if you've never dated a woman for a longer period of time, you've never maybe lived with a woman at any period of time in your life, and you don't really understand how to communicate effectively and build a long-term relationship. So when you're younger, if you're able to get into relationships, if your end goal here is marriage and children, which a lot of the guys who follow me, it is your end goal. You want to build a family. You don't want to just hook up with women the rest of your life. If you want to do that at some point in your life, you have to understand that this is a different skill set, different mindset, and a different approach than just going out to the bar, hopping on dating apps and talking to women. So if you're a younger guy and you meet a woman that you really think is wife material, why not date her? Right? Like, why not get into that longer-term relationship? Now, the big difference is she detracting you from what you really want to do in life and what your purpose is in life? Because if she is detracting, or she's not helping, or she's not on board, or she's, very argumentative, very combative, and she's not a good partner in a relationship, then you shouldn't be in a relationship. So you see what I mean here? A girl that is really wife material, relationship material, she's not going to detract you from the things that you're trying to accomplish in your life. So let's get back to my history briefly. So after I was out of this long-term relationship in college, I realized that I had never been through a specific phase in my life that I think a lot of men want to or have to go through before they are able to actually get in a long-term relationship and be happy with a woman. And I don't want to refer to this as like the hookup phase per se, but I'll refer to it as a single phase where you can accomplish these things. Talking to multiple women if you want to, not having to check in with somebody all the time, having the ability to date casually and hook up if that's something that you want to do, and really just living life on your own terms and not having to go back and forth with somebody who's either telling you what to do all the time, or you feel like you have this external restraint on how you want to live your life. Because as a man, if you go through your whole life and you never know what it's like to talk to more than one woman or to sleep with more than one woman, a lot of us are going to have that in the back of our mind, and we have to get that out of our system. So if you're a guy who's getting in a relationship very early on and you're getting married at a very early age, not only is the divorce rate higher for men who get into relationships and get married super early, you have to understand that you are not an adult yet. You have not checked off a lot of the boxes in your life that you want to, and the only condition I think it makes sense to get into a long-term relationship and stay in that relationship from a very early age is if she is supportive of your goals. If she is not supportive of your goals and she is detracting from your purpose in life, then she's not helping you. And she wouldn't wouldn't be a very good wife or long-term partner anyways, because she's not helping you accomplish the things that you want to in your life. And now understand that this is a two-way street. This is a relationship. This is not a dictatorship. She's not subservient to you. It's a partnership. You two are working together to make each other's life better. And if you get to a point in your life where you're not mutually benefiting each other, then why would you be in a relationship with that person? Because if there's anything you guys take away from this video, you have to remember this. You were not put on this planet to be subservient to somebody else or to make someone else's life better if they are not also making your life better. I want you to think about that for a second. You were not born and put on this earth to live a life where you're serving someone else at all points in time and only putting their happiness over your own. Now, I'm not saying you should be selfish and you can't care about other people, but if you're in a relationship that you feel like is weighing you down, it's not going anywhere, and there is no long-term future to it, then why are you in that relationship? You're literally wasting your time. And the second you get out of that relationship, you're going to start to realize that you're way more productive, you're way more successful, you have a lot more confidence, a lot more charisma, and you could attract a better woman. So let me talk about some of the negatives of getting in a relationship very early. And I just touched on one of them a second ago, and this was a higher divorce rate. So when you're a younger guy and you get in a long-term relationship with somebody, say in college time, and you're dating for about 3 or 4 years, there are some women out there that will truly feel ready to get married in their earlier 20s or their mid-20s. And now I'm not saying that this isn't going to work ever, but what I'm going to tell you is that as we all get older, you're going to be much different in your early 30s than you were in your early 20s. And if you're not much different, you haven't done anything with your life. So you have to let that sink in for a second. You know that you're going to be very different 10 years from now, and she's going to be very different 10 years from now. So if she's not somebody that you feel like you can grow with, then you're wasting your time, because what can end up happening is you get in a relationship, you revolve your whole life around this other person because you think that that's how you're supposed to function in a relationship. You lose your autonomy, you lose your independence, and your identity becomes wrapped up in her and making her happy. And this is one of the biggest mistakes I see men make. You always need to make sure that your partner is happy, but if you're putting somebody else's life in front of yours and you're not taking care of yourself first, it's not going to work. There's a statement that I really like. It's a quote that I heard that I really like recently. It was basically, I'm going to take care of myself for you, and you need to take care of yourself for me, because that way we can both show up and be 100% for one another. Because if you cannot take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of somebody else? And also, if you can't take care of yourself and she's got to take care of you, she's going to lose respect for you. Because the number one thing a guy needs in a relationship for it to last in the long run is for her to respect him. And if she doesn't respect you, she doesn't desire you, it's not going to go anywhere. So based on what I've said so far, I want you guys to think in your mind, if you're sitting there and thinking that you're already in a relationship or you're thinking that you're about to get in a long-term relationship, you really have to sit down and think about what characteristics does she have that you really like? And you have to think to yourself, is this the kind of person I can grow with? Is this the kind of person that I want to grow with? What does her family life look like? How do her parents interact? What does her friend group look like? Does she take care of herself? Is she motivated? Is she independent enough where you don't need to take care of her? And you have to think about all these things. And you have to think about, is this the kind of person that I could be with in the long run? And if you think with any shadow of a doubt that she does not have the ability to do that, and you're a guy in your earlier 20s, I'm telling you right now, you're wasting your time. Because for a relationship to go through from like college age or even high school age to college age and right after college, for that to work, and for you to be with that person for the rest of your life or however long you want to be in a relationship with them, for that to work is a very, very, very small percentage chance if they are not the kind of person you can grow with. And you also have to think about it too. Is that what you want? Are you only ready to be with that one person, only intimate with that one person, and really form the rest of your life with that person? That's what you have to ask yourself, because if you don't feel like you're ready to do that, then you are going to self-sabotage. If you don't feel like you've been through these different phases of your life where you've been single, you've enjoyed being single, you've been in a relationship, you've enjoyed being in a relationship, and you're not making this decision from a position of abundance, and you're making it from a position of lacking or scarcity, where you feel desperate to have somebody, you feel desperate to have her, your relationship is going to fail. So I'm not going to give you guys a definitive answer on whether you should or should not be in a long-term relationship if you're a younger man, but you need to take the information I gave you and you need to apply it to your own life and make an informed decision. So if you guys stayed till the end of this video and you think this information was helpful, but you feel like there's more nuances or situations you want to run past me, I want you to leave a comment. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys need help with. And if you need to get in touch with me, you can do that at the pinned comment down below. But I want to make sure that if you guys are going to decide to be in a long-term relationship with a woman and you're very young, that you're doing your due diligence. Because I'm telling you that there is a lot of potential downside to that, especially as people change over time. So I hope this video helped, guys. Leave a comment of what you need my help with, and I'll see you next time.